Welcome to Forbidden Planet TV. I'm Andrew Sumner. I was talking to our head comics buyer the other day about Rob Pontefract, about one of our mutually favourite comic creators, Chip Zdarsky. Guess what? He's right here, right with us right now. How you doing, Chip?
And I have a mustache. I'm so sorry to everyone watching this.
A fantastic mustache, mate.
Mm, the
So,
mustache is fantastic, but the rest of the face is the problem.
hey, it's an age-old problem for many people, myself included. I will put my moustache envy to one side, and
Right.
I guess this time around I'd like to talk to you about Justice League Last Ride, which is
Hmm.
coming out in a very nice collected edition on the 14th of June. Beautiful book created by you and Miguel Mendonça. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Your guess is as good as mine. It's one of those things where, like, I never hear the names, I never speak the names, so it's like Miguel Mendonça.
Yeah,
I
that sounds
Miguel.
yeah, Miguel, fine work.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell me about the book, mate?
Um. Well, it's a fun one because DC approached me basically just to do whatever Justice League story I wanted, with whatever team I wanted from whatever eras. So it's its own kind of continuity, which, in cases like this, I prefer when you're juggling so many characters. Um, so yeah, so I could just do whatever story I wanted, which was a ton of fun. And it basically revolves around uh, the ultimate cosmic trial for the main man, Lobo, and all the problems that ensue as a result of that. So yeah, so I got to bring in like all sorts of like kind of cosmic characters from the DC universe and use my favorite Justice League characters. So it was great. Yeah, I mean, like just kind of like a nonstop uh, kind of series. It feels like a good introduction to Justice League and kind of a fun story for people who are super familiar with them as well. So
Yeah. So what's it like writing Lobo?
oh man, like Lobo's the best. Like I remember back when DC was doing their 5G kind of relaunch, I pitched on Lobo. Like they asked me to do like a Superman book, and I was like, "Oh, Superman, sure, that sounds fine." But like, how about Lobo? Like I just kind of like, went all in there. Um, because yeah, I'm such a huge fan of the original miniseries. Uh, it's one of the best, tightest miniseries I think of all time.
I agree. That first one is something special, isn't it?
It's so good, and like the rest are good as well, but the first one is kind of above and beyond. And shout out to the paramilitary Christmas special.
Yeah, oh,
Like you
yeah, for
got her,
sure.
you got
Yeah,
her, you got
yeah.
her.
No, that is a good call as well. I think the thing about it is the first miniseries, the DNA of it all just comes out of left field, and certainly for
Hmm.
DC at the time, it just felt so different. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like the right age for it too. I think I was like 16, 17. So it's like, I'm aging a bit out of some of the books I was reading, and then between Vertigo and Lobo, I was just like, oh, this is the best time to be a goth teenager reading comics.
right on. What outside of Lobo, of the cat, which are your favourite members of the cast that you've got on Last Ride? Who do you enjoy writing the most?
I mean, like, it's so fun just doing kind of the Trinity, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Being able to kind of like the funny thing about this series is it was like my bucket list DC boxes that are being checked all throughout because I'm just like, oh yeah, and I got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I've got their kind of conflict within this. I made it Wally West Flash because like that was kind of my era.
Yeah.
I mean that was a ton of fun. Yeah, even like John Stewart, that was my kind of Green Lantern as well. Yeah, it's weird. Like they were all really fun to write. Um, but having the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, like I said, the Trinity uh, is kind of is definitely a dream. You
When
know,
I was reading the original books, it felt to me like it was almost you playing around with what's essentially the animated Justice League cast list.
it's funny. I kind of realized that afterwards. Like like as I was putting it together, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll have Wally West Flash and John Stewart, a Green Lantern. That'll be good. And I still managed to get Hal Jordan in there. But yeah, I was like, but by the time I put the team together and started writing, like, oh, I've just done the Justice League animated.
Yeah, but in a very good way.
Which I think, oh, thanks.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's great, but I think it's. I think you can tell that you're having a lot of fun with it. That's the thing. I think that jumps off the page because sometimes when people are really enjoying themselves with something, you get
for
ride.
sure.
Sometimes you get the original Ocean's 11, which the stills look great, but you try watching the movie, it's difficult.
I've never attempted that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's. I'm a man of a certain age, so it's in Archer. It has to be done. But it doesn't reap benefits, shall we say?
Yeah, of course.
But that's an interesting thing to me. You always seem to be, whether you're writing, whether you're illustrating, you always seem to be really enjoying what you're doing.
Well, I mean, part of it is I've only ever picked projects that I really want to do. Like I'm grateful for the fact that I kind of came into comics, kind of professional at the professional level with Sex Criminals, because that was enough of a hit that I was like, oh, I can be comfortable doing this, and then on the side I'll write books that I want to write. Like the Howard the Duck omnibus is coming out this week, and I was looking at it again, and I was just like, oh man, this was so much fun. Like, because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have fun on this. Like, as long as your heart's in it, like, and not everyone has the opportunity to handle their career that way. Like, a lot of people will have to like take the job, even if they don't like the characters, because you got to pay your rent. And I've been really fortunate. The fact that when I pick a project, it's because there's a story I want to tell with those characters.
And have you got a sense of, have you got anywhere else you'd like to take those characters in future?
I don't know. I mean, they've talked to me a little bit about the idea of like kind of keeping that going, like as its own continuity, because it is. I mean, we set up at the end that there could be more stories, and I'd be open to it for sure. But right now the schedule is it's a little tight. It's a little tight. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and I do understand that. I do think you're kind of reinforcing the what you just mentioned is creators like you who have scheduling issues, of which I speak to a bunch. That's the place where you want to be there. You want to be the person who sat there going, man, how can I possibly juggle all of these great projects?
Yeah, I mean, in a couple of years' time, that could change, and I could be like, oh, please, let's do a sequel to this. Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, you can end up being, the lead character in Brubaker and Phillips' Bad Weekend, which is not where you want to be, right?
No, but that's probably where I'm headed.
Do you feel it calling to you, brother?
Yeah.
But not with this glorious book, which has been Justice League Last Ride, the collected edition, collecting all 7 issues. And you can order it, not you, Chip, but the people watching this conversation can order it from the links attached to this conversation. Thanks for joining me, mate.
Yeah, hey, pleasure.
Hey, man, it's always great to see you. And come back again soon and talk to us about the All-Nighter.
All right, I will.
All right, see you soon, brother. Take care.
Okay, bye.
If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.